everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. I have a feeling that 2020 is going to be my best year yet. I'm really optimistic about this new year and this new month of reading. So today I'm here with my January TBR. Before I get into the books that I hope to read this month, I did just want to quickly mention one thing that I am trying to do this coming year with my TBRs. I had started a TBR wine glass in like June, I think, last year. And I just kind of casually would pick a book title out of here. And if I read it, great. If I didn't, there was no like consequence. But I was thinking last night and this morning about how I can kind of hold myself more accountable to read all of the books that I have on my bookshelves, because most of the books that I have here are unread and it's getting a little bit out of control. So what I decided to do was continue with the TBR wine glass. So the red, maroon, whatever color you want to call this, glass are just books that I kind of randomly selected from my shelves. This glass here are books that I have not gotten to that I had on a previous TBR. These are only books that I physically own. If I have a book on my TBR multiple months and I still don't get to it, it is in this jar multiple times. So what I am going to do for 2020 is alternate between picking from my TBR and picking from my like previous TBR glass. And what I've decided to do is if I don't read the book that I choose from whichever jar, I am going to unhaul a book. It doesn't necessarily have to be that book that I did not read, just a book from my shelves. So we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping that this kind of gives me the added incentive to get to the books that I have not prioritized. We'll see what happens. Now let's get into the books I am planning on reading in January. So the first book I am planning on reading this month is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I am participating in the Anne Along 2020 read along that is hosted by Tia with Tia Nala Books and Amanda at the Curly Reader. I will link both of their announcement videos down below. Anne of Green Gables is a book that I have had on my shelves for so long. I own the complete series and I just haven't prioritized it. I'm really excited to read this. Okay, the next book I will be reading is Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahern. I'm buddy reading this with my mom. We're reading about 70 pages a day this first week of January. I'm also reading this as part of the Winter Magical Readathon. This is fulfilling the prompt to read a book that starts with S, because I'm behind in the Winter Magical Readathon. This is a week 4 prompt, and yeah, it is now the middle of week 5. But I need to read this so that I can read my week 5 prompts, which I did kind of cheat and chose already, but whatever. I'm excited to give it a go. The next book I will be reading is Rich People Problems by Kevin Kwan. I have that on hold at my library. I should be able to pick it up like tomorrow. That is also for the Magical Readathon. That fulfills the prompt to read a book that starts with the letter R for week 5. I have checked this out from the library like twice now, haven't gotten to it. I just need to prioritize it. Once I read it, I will have finished the Crazy Rich Asians series, so I really just need to get it done. Then I have Dear Edward by Anne Napolitano. This also is for the Winter Magical Readathon, and it fulfills the prompt to read a book with like birds or winged creatures or something along those lines on the cover. And you can see there's like a bunch of birds here. I'm fairly certain this book is going to make me cry. It is about a boy who is like the lone survivor of a plane crash. And it's going to make me cry. I know it, but I'm excited to read it. Book 5 of my TBR, I'm nervous about. We'll see how this goes. I am going to start reading War and Peace. I am doing that. There's another read along hosted by Rainy at Rainy Day Reads. She is doing a War and Peace read along, and she hopes to read it the first 2 months of the year. So we're doing parts 1 and 2 in January, parts 3 and 4 in February. I don't know how this is going to go. I'm super intimidated by this book, which I don't even know why, because I've read books that are almost as long as War and Peace, but I think it's like the length of the book plus the fact that it's a like classic, so it's written in like an older writing style. It intimidates me. So we'll see how it goes. I need to check that out from the library as well. And we'll just kind of see what happens. I will also link Rainy's announcement video down below if you are interested in participating in that and reading War and Peace. The Jane Austen Book Club. This I'm going to listen to on audio. It was available on Libby, and I like having an audiobook to listen to while I'm at work or at the gym. So I saw that it was available. It's a book that I had on my like books that I might unhaul if I don't get to them. I have watched this movie multiple times and I really like the movie, so I'm interested to see if I enjoy the book as much as I like the movie. Then I have Cherry Cheesecake Murder. This is the next book in the Hannah Swenson series. You guys, by now, if you've been following my channel for a while, know that I am rereading the series, and it is one of my favorite series of all time. So I just went ahead and threw the next book in the series on my TBR because I was probably going to read it whether it was on my TBR or not. So might as well make it an official part of the TBR. Then I have One True Love by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is the last book that I own by Taylor Jenkins Reid that I need to read, but there's one more that I don't own yet that I need to read as well before I've read her entire collected works. And I devour Taylor Jenkins Reid's books in like a day, so I really am excited to get this done. I have loved every other one of her books, so I'm sure this will be like at least a 4-star, if not a 5-star read. Okay, then I have My Life in France by Julia Childs. I borrowed this from my sister and haven't read it yet, and I just need to read it. I'm really excited to read this. This is an autobiography about Julia Childs. Obviously, this is kind of the not companion, but this and Julie and Julia are where the movie Julie and Julia kind of came from. So, and Julie and Julia, the movie is probably my favorite movie. I watch it all the time. And so I've read Julie and Julia. I read that last year. And I'm really excited to read My Life in France just to get more of Julia Child's life, because that's what was lacking in the book Julie and Julia that makes the movie so enjoyable to me. So I'm excited to get this read. All right, then I have No Exit by Taylor Adams. I got this in one of my first book of the month boxes. I haven't read it. I need to get it read. It's about, it's about winter and snow and getting trapped in a car. And it's a thriller, and I love thrillers. I love mysteries. So I just decided to read it. And yeah, there's really no other explanation than that as to why I put it on my TBR. All right, so the last book on my January TBR, I am going to choose from my TBR glass. And if I don't read this in the month of January, I will have to unhaul a book. Let's see here. Let's go for this one. Oh, it's the Mary Higgins Clarke. It's On the Street Where You Live. On the Street Where You Live. I don't think I'll have a problem fitting this in. I tend to read Mary Higgins Clarke books fairly quickly. This is a little bit of a longer one. So yeah, I will be adding this to my TBR, and if I don't read it, I will unhaul a book. I'll probably, if I don't read it, I will choose a book to unhaul in my January wrap up. I think that's what I'm going to do. So stay tuned for that to see if I read this or not. So these plus 2 books that I don't have here physically are the 11 books that I will hope to read in the month of January. It's a lot, especially with War and Peace in there, but I think it's manageable because a lot of these books are books that I think I'll be able to read pretty quickly. So we'll see how it goes. Let me know down below what books you are reading for the month of January, and let me know what your first read of the new year is going to be. Mine, I'm starting Serpent and Dove with my mom. I just spilled my coffee. I'm starting Serpent and Dove with my mom today. So I'll probably read that and then maybe get to one of the like quicker reads like this. I think that's going to be my first couple reads of the new year. Anyways, so that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading. Bye.